the alphabet and connecting the letters. That's where we'll end up today. But we'll start first with the greetings that we did previously. So, okay. How do we say I am from America?
America. So that's America.
How do we say I?
Anna.
Good.
Anna min America.
Very good. Anna min America. Perfect. I'm pleased to meet you.
Tasharufna.
Very good. Goodbye.
Ma salama.
Very good. What's your name?
Ma ismuka or ma ismuki.
Very good. Welcome back to you, the reply.
Ahlan bika or ahlan biki.
Very good. And upon you, peace. Again, the reply.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Very good. How do you say, I speak Arabic?
What's the first word? Tatakalam.
Okay, it's not tetikalam. Tetikalam is you speak. Etikalam, good.
Okay. Ana atakalam aloha al-Arabiya.
Good. Ana atakalam al-lugha al-Arabiya. Very good. Until our next meeting.
Ila alaka.
Very good. Good afternoon or good evening?
Misa al khair.
Very good. Peace be upon you.
Salam alaikum.
Very good. Welcome.
Ahlan wa sahlan.
Very good. Please.
Oh, I don't know. I'm sorry. One sec.
That was last time too. Min fadlika or min fadliki?
Min fadlika, min fadliki. Yeah, that was the one I messed up last time. So obviously a struggle one for me.
Okay, next one. My name is?
Ismi Lydia.
Very good. You're welcome.
These are important too. Afwan.
Afwan, very good. Good night.
Ali. I don't. Oh gosh.
Don't remember.
Okay.
Tisba ala khair for a male or tisbahina ala khair for a female.
Okay, I'm gonna start.
Tisba ala khair.
Tisba ala khair.
Tisbahina ala khair.
Tisbahina ala khair.
Very good.
Okay.
Okay, next one. Where do you live?
Goodness, I've not looked. Feel bad because I haven't looked at these in a while.
That's okay.
Anya Taskun. Aina Taskun.
Close. Aina Taskun. Good. Aina Taskun for a male or Aina Taskunina for a female. Aina Taskun and Aina Taskunina.
Aina Taskun. Aina
Where do you live?
Okay.
Very good. Okay, next. I don't understand.
Ana la afham.
Very good. Mumtaz. Where are you from?
Min aina enta.
Perfect. Min aina enta. min aina enta for a male or min aina enti for a female? Good morning.
Sabah al-khair.
Very good.
Okay.
God willing.
Inshallah.
Mhm. Hello.
Marhaba.
Very good. Do you speak English?
هل تتكلم or هل تتكلمين اللغة الإنجليزية إنجليزية
El Inglesía.
إنجليزية.
El Inglesía. A little bit more of a stress on the Z. Inglesía.
إنجليزية.
Very good. Okay. So هل تتكلم اللغة الإنجليزية or هل تتكلمين اللغة الإنجليزية؟
هل تتكلم
Go ahead.
إنجليزية.
Good.
هل
الإنجليزية.
تتكلمين اللغة الإنجليزية. Okay.
Very good. Okay. How do we say thank you?
شكرا.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
نعم.
Very good. How are you?
Haluka. What's the first word? Kaifa haluka.
Good. Keifa haluka for a male or keifa haluki for a female. Fine. Praise to God.
Bikhair alhamdulillah.
Mm-hmm. No.
La.
Very good. How old are you?
Kam umraka or kam umraki.
Very good. Hello, hello.
Marhabtain.
Very good. Excellent. Good job.
Okay.
Okay, conversation 1. I'm going to be student A, you'll be student B. I'll start. Ahlan wa sahlan.
Ahlan biki.
Kayfa haluki?
Bikhair alhamdulillah. Wa anti?
Ana bakhair shukran. Ma ismuki?
Ismi Lydia. Wama ismuki anti?
Ismi Laura. Tasharafna.
Tasharafna biki. Ila alika.
Ma salama. Okay, let's try it again. This time we'll switch. So you'll start.
Okay. Ahlan wa sahlan.
Ahlan biki.
Kaifa haluki?
Bakhair. Alhamdulillah. Wa anti?
Ana bikhair shukran. Ma ismuki?
Ismi Laura. Wa ma ismuki anti?
Ismi Lydia. Tasharafna.
Tasharafna biki. Ila liqa.
Ma salama.
Very good. Okay. Conversation 2. I'll start. I'm student A. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Kayfa haluki?
Mumtaza alhamdulillah. Wa kaifa haluki anti?
Kwayisa alhamdulillah.
Ma ismuki?
Ismi Laura. Wa ma ismuki anti?
Ismi Lydia. Tasharafna.
Tasharafna biki. Ila liqa.
Ma salama.
Very good. Okay. This time you'll start.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Kaifa haluki?
Mumtaza alhamdulillah. Wa kayfa haluki anti?
Kwaisa alhamdulillah.
Ma ismuki?
Ismi Lydia. Wa mi ismuki anti?
Wa ma ismuki anti?
Wa ma ismuki anti?
Ismi Laura. Tasharafna.
Tasharafna biki. Ila alika.
Ma salama. Okay, let's try that one again. You're going to start.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Kaifa haluki?
Mumtaza alhamdulillah. Wa kayfa haluki anti?
Kwaisa alhamdulillah.
Ma ismuki?
Ismi Lydia. Wama ismuki enti?
Ismi Laura. Tasharafna.
Tasharafna biki. Ila alika.
Ma salama. Okay, good job. Any questions about either of those dialogues?
No.
No? Okay. You're doing very, very well. Okay, we're going on to the Arabic alphabet. Okay, I'm going to say the letter, and I just want you to repeat it after me. Aleph,
Aleph.
ba,
Ba.
ta,
Ta.
tha,
Tha.
jim,
Jim.
ha,
Ha.
kha,
Ha.
dal,
Dal.
thal,
Val.
ra,
Ra.
zay,
Zay.
sin,
Sin.
sheen,
Sheen.
sod,
Sod.
dod,
Dord.
ta,
Ta.
va,
Va.
ein,
Ein.
rein,
Rein.
fa,
Fa.
qaf,
Cough.
kaf,
Calf.
lam,
Lamb.
mim,
Meme.
noon,
Noon.
ha,
Ha.
wow,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. Let's try it again. Really focus on the shapes of the letters, okay? Because a little later on in class, I'm going to just bring up the letters and I'm going to have you name them for me, okay? Okay, I'm going to say it. Just repeat it after me. Aleph,
Aleph.
ba,
Ba.
ta,
Ta.
tha,
Tha.
jim,
Jim.
ha,
Ha.
kha,
Ha.
dal,
Dal.
thal,
Thou.
ra,
Ra.
zay,
Zay.
sin,
Seen.
sheen,
Sheen.
sod,
Sawed.
dod,
Dawed.
ta,
Ta.
va,
The.
ein,
Ein.
rein,
Rein.
fa,
Fa.
qaf,
Cough.
calf,
Calf.
lamb,
Lamb.
meme,
Meme.
noon,
Noon.
ha,
Ha.
wow,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Once more. I'm going to say it. Just repeat it after me. Aleph,
Aleph.
ba,
Ba.
ta,
Ta.
tha,
Tha.
jim,
Jim.
ha,
Ha.
kha,
Ha.
dal,
Dal.
thal,
Thou.
ra,
Ra.
zay,
Zay.
sin,
Seen.
sheen,
Sheen.
sod,
Sawed.
dod,
Dawed.
ta,
Ta.
va,
The.
ein,
Ein.
rein,
Rein.
fa,
Fa.
qaf,
Cough.
calf,
Calf.
lamb,
Lamb.
meme,
Meme.
noon,
noon,
ha,
ha,
wow,
wow,
yeah.
yeah.
Very good. Okay, Lydia, how many letters are in the Arabic alphabet?
28.
Very good. Can you tell me how many long vowels are there?
I don't know how many long vowels. Um, 3.
Good. Okay. Can you tell me what they are?
Um, Aleph, Wa, Ya.
Very good. Aleph, wow, and yeah. How many short vowels are there?
Um, um, I don't know. I didn't put that
Okay,
down.
we're going to find out.
Okay.
Okay, so we have 3 long vowels and we have 3 short vowels.
Okay.
Okay, your 3 short vowels are similar in sound to your long vowels, but they're shorter in length. Okay, and
Okay.
remember that the short vowels most of the time are not written. Okay, they are those vowel markers or the grammar markings that you see above and below the line, not the actual skeleton of the word itself. Whereas the long vowels are always written, they're actually part of the skeleton. Okay, so our first short vowel, you may want to jot these down for your benefit. Okay, so our first one is feta. Feta is like the ah sound, okay, like aleph, ah, but it's ah, it's short, okay, and it just looks like this. It's just like a little slash mark that goes above the letter on top of the line. So your letter will be written here, and then you put the feta over it. The feta is the short vowel of the equivalent of aleph. So aleph is ah, and feta is ah, short. And actually over here, we have the same word, feta, written in Arabic script, which you'll be learning shortly. But for right now, you don't have to pay attention to that. Okay, so our next short vowel is kesra. Kesra. And kesra is the equivalent of ya. So kesra makes the E sound. Remember, ya makes E, so this is E or I. E or I. That short sound. But it's the equivalent of the ya in Arabic, but it's the short vowel. It's written below the line. Okay, so your word's written on the line, and the kesra is written below that. So we have feta above and kesra below. Feta makes the ah sound, kesra makes the E or I sound, short vowel. Our third vowel is dhamma, dhamma. And dhamma is the short equivalent of wow. Remember, wow makes the wa sound as a consonant, or it makes the oo sound as a vowel. So dhamma makes or oo, or oo, the short sound. Okay, and it's written above the line, just like feta. And this is the word dhamma. So we have kesra and dhamma. Okay, so there are 3 types of short vowels. 2 are written above the line and 1 is written below the line. Feta is written above the line. It looks like a slash mark. Kesra is written below the line. It looks like a slash mark. And dhamma looks like the letter wow, and it's written above the line, but it's small. Okay, so your letter's big and that's small. All of these marks are small. Most of the time they won't be there to help you, so you kind of have to know what they are, and it takes some getting used to. Okay, so your long vowels in Arabic, we already went over these, are aleph, the first letter of the Arabic alphabet, and it makes the ah sound. Remember, the short vowel is feta, and it makes the ah sound. So aleph and feta. Next, we have the ya or e. Okay, it makes the e sound. And the comparable short vowel is kesra, which is written below the line. It's a slash mark that goes below the line. It makes the e or the I sound. And finally, the letter wow, which makes the oo sound, the long vowel. And its equivalent is dhamma, dhamma. And dhamma makes the sound, Okay.
All right.
Okay, so in addition to having 3 short vowels and 3 long vowels, we talked a little bit about this, but didn't go much into detail in our last class, are the diphthongs. There are diphthongs in Arabic. A diphthong is a vowel consisting of 2 different parts. So you have 2 different parts to make one sound. Okay, for instance, if you have the aleph with ya, it makes a. It makes the a sound. And if you have aleph with wow, it makes the o sound. So you have a and o. A for aleph and ya. A like an aina. A. And aleph and wow gives you o. So in addition to the 3 short vowels and 3 long vowels, you also have 2 diphthongs. Okay. Any questions about those?
No, it's a lot to
Okay.
take in.
If I go too fast, just slow me down. Okay. Can you tell me what the one-way connectors are? Oh, don't look at the screen.
Right there. Aleph, dal, thal, ra, zay, and wow.
Very good. Okay, so aleph, dal, zal, ra, zay, and wow. And can you tell me what we mean by a one-way connector?
They can't connect on the left side? Or no, they can't
Correct.
connect. All right, okay.
To anything that's following them.
Okay.
So it can be preceded by a letter, okay? But anything that follows any of these letters, you have to leave a space, which means that you can have a space anywhere, like in the middle of a word in Arabic. So just because there's a space doesn't mean that it's the end of the word. It's important to remember. Okay, last lesson, we talked about that there are 28 letters in the alphabet, but I said that there are a couple of extra letters that don't have full letter status. Okay, so we're going to talk about what those are and what the purpose of those letters are. Okay, so the first one is called ta marbuta. Ta marbuta. Okay, and ta marbuta. And it looks like this. It looks like the letter ha, but it has 2 dots over it. So it looks like this, kind of a teardrop shape with 2 dots over it, the letter ta marbuta. The reason why it doesn't have full letter status is because it's only found at the end of a word. And the main function of this word is to designate that the word is of the female gender. It's not always the case, okay? There are some words that end with ta marbuta that can be like, for instance, plurals, and there are even some masculine words that have this, okay? But in general, if you want to make a word feminine, you'll take a masculine word and put ta marbuta at the end of it, and that turns it into a feminine, like the word secretaire, the word for secretary. Secretaire for a male, secretera for a female. Now, you'll notice that the word secretera, it ends with an sound, but I call this letter ta marbuta. And the reason why is when you vowel the word, you put a vowel either over or below it, depending on if it's dhamma or if it's kesra or feta. It changes the sound that the letter makes. You have to pronounce it as the letter ta. Okay, and we'll get into that later. I won't burden you so much with that, but just know that the name of the letter is ta marbuta because it actually will sound like the letter ta when it's voweled. But it's only found at the end of a word. It will never be at the beginning. It will never be in the middle of a word or by itself. It's only at the end of a word. And it indicates the female gender, and it has only two shapes. Okay, so that's what's important about ta marbuta, and it looks like that. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Okay, now this one is called Aleph Maksura. Aleph Maksura. Aleph Maksura means a broken aleph. A broken aleph. What letter does this look like if you were just looking at it?
Yeah.
You didn't know what it looks like a ya, but you'll notice that it doesn't have dots. Okay, and in fact, it's actually an aleph. Okay. And again, this letter is only found at the end of a word. Okay, it's only found at the end of the word. It has only two shapes. And it's actually the letter aleph. It's actually the letter aleph. And you can't just like if a word ends in aleph, you can't just automatically use this. It's a spelling function. So typically you're going to find it like on older words. Okay, and you'll see this. But you have to learn it as you go when you're learning how to spell a word. So just because it has the sound at the end doesn't mean you're going to use an aleph maksura. Okay, it has to be spelled that way. So you'll have to learn how to spell the word. But aleph maksura looks like a ya without dots. And it's always found at the end of a word. Okay, next we have Hamza. Hamza. And Hamza is a glottal stop. So it's kind of like and it looks like this. It's a very small letter. Okay, it kind of looks like a backward 2. And it can be found in lots of different places. There's like could do a whole lesson on Hamza where it's found, which we won't do right now. Just know that it makes the sound of a glottal stop, like and it can be found in lots of different places. It's typically found either under an aleph or over an aleph. If it's found under an aleph or over an aleph, it's going to change the sound that the letter makes. Okay, so if we start a word with Hamza over an aleph, it's just like starting the word with a short vowel. Okay, so the letter aleph by itself makes sound, but with Hamza over it, okay, so it's a glottal stop, but it's just like starting the word with a short vowel, which you can't really do in Arabic, but you do it with the use of Hamza. Okay? You can also find Hamza over a waw or over a ya. Okay, so just like the aleph, you can also find it over a waw or over a ya. If you find this letter, Hamza, under an aleph, instead of making an sound, it's going to make an sound or an e sound. Okay, so that's another way it can be used. And then we have something called a seat or a chair. It's called Hamza ala kursi, or Hamza on a seat. And that's when you find Hamza in the middle of a word. Or the last place it can be found is just on the line itself. Okay, don't worry too much about that. Just know that this letter is Hamza. Okay, so we have 3 new letters today that aren't full letter status. The first one is ta marbuta. Ta marbuta is only found at the end of the word, and it's typically used to make a word feminine. We have alif maksura, which also is only found at the end of a word, and it's actually an aleph. It means broken aleph. And then our last one is the letter Hamza, and it's a glottal stop. Okay. Any questions about those?
No.
Nope. Okay.
I'll probably questions later.
Okay. Let these upload here. Okay. Okay, so now we've got some lessons. Okay, so here we have the alphabet, but without the names. So I'm going to have you try and tell me what they are. I'm going to point to it and just tell me what it is, okay?
Aleph,
Mm-hmm.
Ba,
Mm-hmm.
Ta,
Good.
Tha,
Uh-huh.
Jim,
Mm-hmm.
Ha, Kha,
Good.
Tal,
Dal. Dal.
Dal, Dal, Thal, Ra,
Mm-hmm.
Zay, Sheen,
Not sheen.
sorry.
Seen. Seen. Good.
Sheen,
Sheen.
Sad,
Mm-hmm.
Dod,
Mm-hmm.
Ta, Tha,
Good.
Ein,
Mm-hmm.
Rein, Fa,
Good.
Kaf,
Good.
Calf, Lamb, Meme,
Good.
Noon,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know this one. Sorry.
That's okay. This one's wow.
Wow.
Wow. Uh-huh.
Wow.
Next one.
Ha.
Good.
Is that Hamza?
Good. Very good.
And then Ya.
Excellent. Great job on those. Okay, now we're going to mix them up a little bit.
Oh no.
Right here.
Ka.
Good.
Ba.
Good.
Ha.
Mm-hmm.
Ta.
Good.
Lam.
Mm-hmm.
Jim.
Uh-huh.
Seen.
Uh-huh.
Dal.
Good.
Ein.
Uh-huh.
Ra. Zay. Rein.
Mm-hmm.
Jean.
Oh, what's this one?
No, oh, shoot. Sheen.
Sheen. Very good.
Ya.
Mm-hmm.
Dodd.
Dod. Good.
Dodd. It's the one I messed up beforehand. Okay. I feel embarrassed now. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ta.
Ta. Good.
Noon.
Mm-hmm.
Meme.
Uh-huh.
Calf.
Good.
Cough.
Mm-hmm.
Thaw.
Good.
Thal.
Thou. Thou.
Thou. Alif.
Mm-hmm.
Thaw.
The. Good.
Okay. Uh, Sad.
Sawed. Sawed.
Mod.
Mm-hmm.
Ra.
No, what's this one? 1 point up.
A cough. Or is it?
Off is 2 points up.
2 points up.
This is 1 point up. Fa.
Okay.
Fa. Fa. Next one.
Hamza
Good.
and ha.
Ha. Very good. Okay. You've probably noticed, and we talked a little bit about this, that you have some sounds that are heavy and some sounds that are light. Okay. For instance, we have the letter ta, and ta. Ta and ta. We have the letter ha. Okay, this guy, ha, and the letter ha. Ha. Okay. So they're heavy sounds and light sounds. We have the letter calf that makes the ka sound, and cough. Cough. Cough makes the heavy sound. Another thing I want to point out, and you probably have noticed this when you were writing the letters, that there are actually, although there are 28 letters, there are only 17 different shapes of letters, because several letters have the exact same shape. Okay. For instance, we have the letter ba, ta, tha, and to some degree, even the letter noon. Okay. All of these basically have that rounded shape. The only difference between those letters are the number and placement of points. Okay. So ba has 1 point down, ta 2 points up, tha 3 points up. Another group of letters that share the same form are jim, ha, and ha. They look exactly alike. They have exactly the same shape, but the difference is the number and placement of points. Okay, so jim has 1 point in the middle, ha doesn't have a point, and ha has 1 point over the letter. Other than that, they look exactly alike, and they're going to make the same changes, because remember I said that each of these letters, depending on where they are in the word, will look a little bit differently. Okay, but the letters that share the same structure will make the same kind of changes. So that makes it a little bit easier. Okay, our next group that looks exactly alike are dal and thal. The only difference is that you have a point over the letter thal. Dal and thal. And both dal and thal sit on the line. Okay, they sit on the line, which is how you can tell them from our next group of letters, which is ra and zay. Ra starts above the line and goes below the line. So your line would be like right in here. It's going to start above the line and go below the line. Same thing with the letter zay. Starts above the line, goes below the line. But they look exactly alike, except for zay has 1 point over it. Okay. Our next pair of letters that have the same structural shape is seen and sheen. Seen and sheen. Your line would go like right through here. Okay, this is your line. So the first part of the letter, that double loop, goes on the line. And then that big loop at the bottom goes below the line, but you bring it back up over the line. Okay, seen and sheen. Seen doesn't have any dots. Sheen has 3 dots over the beginning portion of the letter. Sometimes people will write it with a little tent as well. So they'll connect these dots in handwriting. You'll see it that way. Okay, next we have sawed and thawed. They look exactly alike. The only difference is that point over the letter thawed. Do you remember what I told you about the letter thawed?
It's uniquely found in Arabic.
Exactly. Okay, that particular sound is found only in the Arabic language. Okay, our next pair is ta and va. They look exactly alike. Va has a point, ta does not. Okay. Our next pair is ein and rein. And again, same thing. They look exactly alike. They will make the same changes when we change them in different parts of the word, but ein does not have a dot and rein does. You'll notice that it's really important to remember your dots in Arabic. Although if you go way, way back to the very beginning of the Arabic language, it was actually written without dots. And native speakers were able to figure out what was being said and what was being written. But for non-native speakers, it made it really, really difficult. So when Arabic started to spread with the spread of the Islamic faith into lands where Arabic wasn't the native language, they needed to revise the language itself so that foreigners were able to learn the language. So that's when they added dots to the letters, and they added those vowel markers that we learned today, the feta, kasra, and dhamma, as well as grammar markings, which we haven't seen yet. Okay. Okay, next we have fa and qaf. Again, they look pretty similar, except for the number of dots. There's a little bit of a difference, but really not much. We have kaf and lam. They look pretty similar, except you have this little, looks like a little Hamza inside the kaf. Okay, but other than that, they're pretty similar. Meme is by itself, doesn't have anything different. Noon, like I said, was pretty much like ba, ta, and tha. Then we have the letter wow, the letter ha, the letter Hamza, and the letter ya. Ya also in its like middle form and beginning form, it looks like ba, ta, tha, but at the end it has this really pretty kind of curvaceous shape. Okay. Okay, now let's take a look at how these letters actually change. Okay, so we're going to start with the letter ba, not with aleph. Aleph, we're going to save the one-way connectors to the end, okay? So that's why we didn't start with aleph. Okay, so here we have ba in its isolated form, just like we've learned it. But at the beginning of a word, it gets much smaller. So this back part of the letter is cut off, and it looks like this at the beginning of a word. It looks like this in the middle of a word. So it links to what's before it and to what's after it. And you have that one point down. And then at the end of the word, it connects to what precedes it, but you get the whole shape back again. Okay, so here you have 4 different shapes for that same letter ba. Can you see the difference between those? Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, and as I mentioned, ba, ta, and tha have the same structure for the letter, except for those points. So it's going to make exactly the same changes. Okay, so ta at the beginning, in the middle, or at the end, and tha. Tha in isolation, tha at the beginning of the word, tha in the middle of the word, and tha at the end of the word where it's connected to something. Okay. Okay, our next 3 letters are jim, ha, and ha. And you'll notice that jim changes quite a bit. So this is jim, the way we learned it, ha and ha in their isolated positions. You have the entire letter, and then you put your dot. If it's at the beginning of the word, this is what you get. Your line would actually be like right here. So it's like about a quarter of the way up the line is where you start. Then it goes on the line and back, and then you put your dot underneath, or you without a dot or a dot on top. Okay, but the letter changes a lot if it's at the beginning of the word. Also in the middle of the word, it connects to what precedes it and to what follows it. And then at the end of the word, it connects, but you have the entire shape back. Okay, so you've got the entire letter, but in this case, it's connecting to what precedes it. So it's important that you practice learning not only the isolated shapes, but also how each of these letters change, because that's what's going to allow us to form words. Okay, next we have dal and thal. And as I mentioned, both of those letters sit on the line. They sit on the line. And they're both tiny letters. They only go about a quarter of the way up the line. But because they're one-way connectors, you actually have only two shapes. So dal in isolation, dal at the beginning of a word, because remember, anything following dal, you have to leave a space. Okay, if it's in the middle of a word, it can be connected to what precedes it. And it looks like this. And then at the end of the word, again, it's preceded by a letter, and it looks like this, but it's hooked on. Okay, so it has only two shapes. Same thing with thal. The only difference is you have those points. Ra and zay, remember, also are one-way connectors. So again, you only have two shapes. Either ra looks like this, or it's connected to what precedes it, and it looks like these. Same thing with zay, either by itself or when it's preceded by a word. Next, we have, you actually have these charts online, so you can look at them. Okay, I know this is fast, so I understand. And in your workbook, you'll have assignments where you're going to be working with these as well. Okay. So, okay, so seen changes quite a bit. Seen and sheen. Seen in its isolated position and sheen in the isolated position, just like we learned them. Much smaller at the beginning of the word. Your line goes right under here. So that whole back part of the letter disappears when it's at the beginning of a word or in the middle of a word. Okay. And then at the end of the word, it connects to what precedes it. And then you get that long tail back again. Okay, and the tail comes back over the line. So don't let your tail of your seen and sheen kind of hang down. You want to curve it back up and bring it back over the line. Okay, next we have thawed and thawed. And the same thing with thawed and thawed as happened with seen and sheen. The tail of that letter goes away at the beginning of the word or in the middle of the word. And it comes back at the end when it connects to the end of the letter. Okay. So then you'll get that whole shape back again. That's thawed and thawed. Next we have ta and va, and those are tall letters, like aleph. Aleph is a tall letter. They go about 3/4 of the way up the line, where some of these others just go like 1/4 of the way up the line. But ta and tha are both tall letters. They really don't change all that much. Ta at the beginning, ta, ta in isolation, ta at the beginning of a word, ta in the middle of a word. It connects to what precedes it and what follows it. and also at the end of the word. Same thing with the. So not much difference there. Our next group is ein and rein. Now these look very, very different, okay? So ein and rein in their isolated positions, the way we've learned them. At the beginning of the word, you just get like the very first part of the letter here, and then it goes on to connect to what follows it. So what letter does that actually look like just by itself?
A Hamza.
It looks like a Hamza, good. But it's actually an ein, okay? That's an ein at the beginning of a word. In the middle of a word, it has a different shape. You're going to like go up this way, then you make a flat top across and then come back down. So you go up, straight across, and back down. And that's going to give you an ein in the middle of a word. And then ein at the end of the word, it connects, and then you have that same shape where you go up, straight across, down, and underneath the line. Okay? And rein takes those same changes, but you put in your points. And like I said, all of this information is online and then also in your workbook. Okay. Next we have fa and qaf. Fa and qaf make pretty much the same changes. Fa has 1 point up, qaf has 2 points up. It loses the long tail at the beginning of a word. Okay, you just have the first part of the letter at the beginning of a word. In the middle, it crosses over. Now remember, ein and rein also cross over like that. The difference, though, is ein and rein both have a flat top. Fa and qaf have a rounded top, a curved top. So that's how you know the difference between ein and rein and fa and qaf. Okay, so the two before had a flat top, and these two have a rounded top. Okay, and then at the end of the word, you're going to get that long tail back again, and it connects to what precedes it. Our next letter is the letter kaf. This is kaf in isolation. Then we have kaf at the beginning of a word. Look how different that is. Okay, that's kaf at the beginning of a word, and it goes on to connect to what follows it. This is what kaf looks like in the middle of a word. And then at the end of a word, it looks kind of like what it did initially, okay, like this. Okay, so that's your letter kaf. Kaf also is a tall letter, so it's going to go about 3/4 of the way up the line. Next, we have the letter lam. Lam, like we learned it, okay. At the beginning of a word, it looks like this. Now, what letter does that look like? If you just saw that, what does it kind of look like?
Aleph.
It looks like an aleph, okay? But we know that in this case that it's going to go ahead and connect to something, and we know that aleph is a one-way connector. So if you get, and if you look here in the middle, here it's connected to something and connected to something after it. Again, it looks like an aleph. But remember that if something is connected to it following it, then it must be a lam and not an aleph, because an aleph will always have a space after it. Okay, and then lam at the end of the word. Okay, but this is the reason why we have to learn those one-way connectors, because the one-way connectors will prevent you from writing a letter that you didn't anticipate. So if you were, for instance, writing an aleph, but you connected it to what followed it, you'd actually be writing a lam instead of an aleph. And that goes for all of the one-way connectors. In each case, you're going to be writing a letter that you didn't anticipate if you go ahead and connect it on the far side. Okay, next we have meme. Meme actually is a tiny letter. It sits on the line, just the front part of the letter, and that long tail goes below the line. This is meme the way we learned it in the isolated position. Meme at the beginning of a word, meme in the middle of a word, and meme at the end of the word. It gets that long tail back. Noon looks a lot like ba, tat, and tha. If you look at those different positions, okay, at the beginning of the word, in the middle of the word, or at the end of the word. And just a couple more here. Wow, remember wow is a one-way connector. It really doesn't change much. Either it is by itself or it's connected to something that precedes it. But remember, you can't have it connected to what follows it because it's a one-way connector. Ha is has a lot of different looks to it. Okay, so you have ha. Actually, where the way we learned it and the way it actually is should be just like a teardrop, like a teardrop. The way they show it here, that's ha at the beginning of a word. It has that double loop through it. Okay, but the way that we learned it on the other chart, where it's just a teardrop, that's ha in its isolated position. Ha with this line through it like this, like a double loop, that's ha at the beginning of a word. In the middle of a word, you're going to see butterfly wings. You can also actually write it another way in handwriting, where you just kind of go down and up and over. But for right now, we won't worry about it because it's not written here like that. But butterfly wings in the middle of a word, and then ha at the end of a word looks like this. Okay. Can you tell me what other letter kind of looks like this? One that you just learned today? What other letter looks like this at the end of a word?
I don't know.
It looks like tamarbuta, except tamarbuta has the 2 points over it. So the letter ha and then tamarbuta both look exactly alike, except tamarbuta has those 2 points. Okay. Next we have Hamza. And this is what we call Hamza ala kursi. Don't worry too much about this. It's a little bit more advanced, but you can see where Hamza is over what we call a kursi. Kursi means chair. So it's Hamza on a seat. So here Hamza is actually sitting down. Okay. Okay. And then we have our last one is ya, and ya in isolation. Ya at the beginning of a word gets much smaller. It looks like ba, tat, and tha. Ya in the middle of a word, and ya at the end of the word. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I know that's a lot. It's hard to remember, I know. But like I said, you've got these charts. Let me see if I can show you where they are exactly. Okay, so it's in lesson 4. And there will be a test at the end of this week. So like by Sunday, you'll want to do the test. But there are several assignments as well that will help you with what we did today. Okay, so all of the things that we did today, starting with the alphabet chart, is here in lesson 4. The short and long vowels and your diphthongs. Okay, your one-way connectors are written there for you. The few extra letters that we did, and then the next part where it says alphabet lessons, that's what we just did. Okay, so that's where you find all of those lessons. Let's see, then we have more alphabet practice. Here is an alphabet song for you to sing. You can do that at home. Okay, Then we have, and these are supplementary. You don't have to turn these in, but they're just extra practice for you. It's actually white. Oh, these you may want to do. Actually, I take that back. You do want to do these. I don't think you have to turn them in, but it's good handwriting practice. You can actually print these out and practice writing the letters in all of the different shapes. So that's like good practice for you. I don't know if I have you turn that in or not. Okay, and before we go, we'll do the cram letter match game.
All right.
Okay, all ready?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to point to a letter. You're going to tell me what it is. Okay, we'll start here.
Zay.
Good.
Seen.
Good.
Val.
Good.
Lamb.
Very good.
Jean.
Mm-hmm.
Fa.
Very good.
Thaw.
Thaw. Good.
Ta.
Very good.
Wow.
Very good.
Ka.
Cha. Very good.
Sheen.
Excellent.
Fa.
Good.
Ha.
It's actually ha.
Okay. Ba.
Good. And finally,
Dal.
Dal. Very good. Simply stunning. Excellent. Okay. Great job. Okay. Well, it brings us to an end. So you have lots of studying when it comes to the alphabet. This is like a really important time to learn like those letters. You seem to have a good handle on them already. But practice writing them in their different shapes and identifying them in their like beginning, middle, final, and isolated shapes. So that next week we'll start to put letters with vowels together and then to form words. Okay, so we're moving really quick, but you're doing great. Okay. You're doing really, really well. I'm very proud of you. Okay, so there are several exercises that you'll need to turn in, and they're all under lesson 4. You just click on them and then you can go ahead and complete them. And then there is a test that you'll want to take after you've gone through all of those exercises and feel like you're comfortable with the material. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, so I will see you next Tuesday then. If you need help, just give me a call or email me.
Thank you so much. I'll see you.
You're welcome. Thanks, Lydia. Okay, bye-bye. Ma salama.